everyone, and welcome back to the channel where your likes, comments, and subs are always greatly appreciated. In front of me, I have the Zoom LiveTrak L-6 compact mixer that also serves as a simple but fairly functional multi-track recorder. If you're curious about the L6, you can look at the videos that I've posted on my channel. But for me, I primarily use the L6 by leaving it on my desk. It's typically hooked up to a USB battery bank, so I don't have to run a power cable to it. I surround it with several budget synthesizers that are all operating off of battery power. They're plugged into their individual inputs, and I only need to use one headphones that are plugged into one jack. I can pick up any individual budget synthesizer, start using it. If I get a good groove going, I could pick up a second one, just turn up the gain on that channel, and everything is easy to mix. If something sounds good, I can hit the record button, and now I've got an easy, quick multi-track recording that I don't even need to use a computer for. So for that, I think it's pretty fantastic. I use it all the time, but still with that, I don't use it every single week. So I'll take this thing off my desk for 2 to 4 weeks at a time, put it on a shelf, and I'm always worried about it collecting dust. Additionally, over the past couple months, I've traveled a couple times, and I wanted to bring several budget synthesizers with me, and I wanted to bring the Live 6 because it's a great DAW-less solution for multi-track recording. And to my surprise, as of August of 2025, going to the Zoom website, they don't sell cases for it. So I was just, shocked by that. They sell cases for their other L series mixers and multi-track recorders, but nothing for the L6, even though it's their most compact mixer that would be perfect for travel. So there's no cases on the Zoom website for the L6. Additionally, anywhere else on the internet, I'm not really finding cases for the L6. Recently, though, on Amazon, I was able to find this, and this is a case that was $29.99 US, made by a company called CO2 Korea. That's CO2CREA. I'm not even sure if that's intended to be a word you could pronounce, but they're selling this case that is really exactly what I'm looking for. That's about 10% of the cost of the actual L6 itself. So that's like perfect in the budget range of cases. So what I thought I would do is provide you some feedback in terms of my time using this case from CO2 Korea. So the first thing that you notice about the case is that it has a kind of semi-hard shell. It's like one of those hard cardboard shells that are inside of a fabric coating. You've seen this a million times for different types of cases for synthesizers or for mixers. And that's perfectly fine. It has a double zipper design, which I always appreciate. So if you open this up, really no surprises in here. You've got a soft felt interior, and then up at the top, you've got like the ubiquitous netting that's there with a zipper enclosure where you could put your cords. You can fit USB like battery banks inside of here. They will fit. The problem with it is that when you flip it over, because this is a mesh, netting material, it doesn't keep it in place. And this thing, I'm really worried will smash against the L6 when it's inside the case. So I don't recommend putting anything that has a heavy weight like a USB battery bank inside that mesh. But for cords, it's been perfectly fine. So overall, you think like this would work exactly how you want it to. It's perfect. But there's one problem. So this is the case, and here is the L6 inside of it. And you can see there's lots of space on the side. So if I slosh this thing around, if it's inside a bag of mine, you can see that it's going to just move within the case. And I'm worried that it's going to damage the L6 if it's inside my case because it's so easy for it to slide back and forth. If you measure the L6 itself, the L6 comes in at a little bit less than 9 inches or about 22.5 centimeters. But you could see that off to the side here, you've got about 1.5 inches of empty space, or about 3 centimeters of empty space here where, you could easily see the L6 sloshing around back and forth. So for that reason, the case is not ideal, obviously. I mean, if you just look at it as a case by itself, it's fine. If you close this thing up, there's enough space here, and it works great as a dust deterrent. So when it's sitting on my shelf, that's all I really need to use it for. I don't have to worry about the thing sloshing around inside. But for travel, it's far from ideal. So if you're just going to use it as a dust cover, Yeah, that's perfectly fine. The solution that I had for myself is that I had another Amazon package that arrived like a day later that had just this foam packaging material, and it's about 1.5 inches in size. So if I put this there, it does a nice job of buffering the L6, and I've put it in there. I've traveled with this by throwing this entire thing into a backpack, and now it's not sloshing around for myself. So you can do something like that with an incredibly cheap fix, but still, for a case, I just don't understand. You know, it's advertised as an L6 case if you search for it on Amazon. I just don't know why the dimensions are off. So I suspect that they made this case potentially for something else. They realized the dimensions were relatively close to the L6 because the height of the device is accurate. That's not really moving around much. That's what I would expect it to be. But for the width, it's just off in an ineffective way that I do not recommend this case for travel unless you're going to outfit it with this kind of cheap foam material to give yourself an additional buffer with it. So overall, if you're just using it as a dust cover, it's fine, but I don't know why they made the case with these types of dimensions. So I would probably have to give this a 2-star rating. Even though it is easy to salvage with a cheap fix like this, I still want something that's a little bit more professional and put together. So that's my overall assessment for a case like this. Since there's nothing else out there that I could find, it works well enough with this kind of thing there, and it does obviously block out the dust. But I'm curious to hear if there's any L6 users out there that you've discovered a case that works really well for you. Please leave that below in the comments. I'd like to hear about it, and I think the L6 community would like to hear about it as well. All right, that's all I have for you in this video. Hope you enjoyed watching. See you again next time. All right, goodbye.